Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, CFL Week 20. We are almost to the end of the regular season. Week 19, 3-1 in straight up picks. Against the spread, 2-2. On the over-under, 1-3. 6-6 overall. Not great. Doing a lot better earlier in the season. Had a couple really good weeks. Had a really bad week. Here we are. Alright, straight up picks overall year to date, 50-25. 38-37 against the spread, and 33-42 on the over-under, 53.7%. The goal's 60. You know what? It's above 500. I can live with that. Because I know with the USFL and the XFL earlier in the season, not great, about the same. And then NFL, I'm literally under 500 right now. So it's been a challenge, but you know what? I'm up for the challenge. All right, 3 big games this week. We have 3 games next week as well. That ends the regular season. We do have 1 battle left for the playoffs. So we have 1 playoff position left, and then we have the division in the West left. So right now, Winnipeg and BC have both clinched the playoff spot. Winnipeg is a half a game above BC for the division title, while Saskatchewan and Calgary are Saskatchewan's a half game up on Calgary for the final playoff spot. And then over in the East, everything's wrapped up. Montreal, Hamilton are your 2 wild cards. Toronto is the East Division champion. Now, obviously, Toronto's trying to end up with the best record. So we'll see what happens there. But the fact that playoff is already set, everything's done there. We got Montreal and Hamilton there in the division game. The winner goes on to face Toronto. But we got some work to do in the West. Edmonton and Ottawa both have been eliminated already. So we just got Saskatchewan, Calgary, and then figure out who's going to win the division. All right, the first game we have the Calgary Stampeders 5-11 versus the 12-5 BC Lions. In Week 1, BC won 25-15. In Week 2, BC won 37-9. So Calgary is a half game behind Saskatchewan. They are actually, Calgary is 2-1 versus Saskatchewan, so they hold the tiebreaker. BC is a half game behind Winnipeg for the division. So yeah, there's still a lot to play for here. So far this year in the division games, BC is 8-2, Calgary is 3-6. BC is favored by 8.5 here. I got BC winning, covering and under on the 49.5. Then we have probably the most meaningless game of the season. We have the 14-2 Toronto Argonauts versus the 6-11 Saskatchewan Roughriders, but it's not meaningless. It is for Toronto. They won versus Saskatchewan in Week 8, 31-13. They're the number 1 seed. They've clinched everything. They're just on cruise control, but Saskatchewan needs this game. They are half game behind Calgary. So, obviously I picked BC to win, beat Calgary. I can't see Saskatchewan beating Toronto. I'm sorry. Toronto's 9-0 at home. That is by far the best team. Toronto's favored by 9.5. I got them winning, covering, and over on the 50.5. I think it's going to be a lot like that Week 18 game. And then we have the Edmonton Elks, who are 4-13, eliminated from the playoffs, going against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, who are battling BC Lions. Winnipeg is 12-4. Week 7, Winnipeg beat Edmonton 28-14. Week 10, Winnipeg won 38-29. Half game lead on BC. I got BC winning. So Winnipeg is favored by 11.5. They're going against one of the worst teams in the CFL. So I got Winnipeg winning, covering, and under on the 50.5. Then we'll go to next week and see what happens. I think it's going to be good playoffs. I think we're going to have at least the Grey Cup. I think will be must-see TV. The wildcard games, especially Calgary and Saskatchewan, both teams are well under 500. BC, I got them minus 8.5, winning, covering, and under on 49.5. Toronto minus 9.5, winning, covering, and over on the 50.5. And then Winnipeg, minus 11.5, winning, covering, and under on the 50.5. That is CFL Week 20. 16 Robert Sports Show. We'll have 21 next week. We'll have we have 2 on the NFL. Week 7 on the NFL. Week 8 of the college football is already up. And then NASCAR coming later in the week. As always, thanks for watching the Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports content.